Hey gun people, gonna talk about a couple weapons. The wind's blowing out here, so you're probably gonna hear it. Sorry about that. I can't control the weather. Pretty good about controlling shit. I can't control it. I got a couple questions on different weapons. So I did that impact weapons thing. Now I'm gonna do some other little. People want to know about the ASP and the expandable baton. So what I'm gonna do is talk about a couple of those real quick. A quick shout out to Big Ron, and I wanted to also, let me adjust this just a little bit. He asked about a wobbler crime, and on a wobbler crime, basically what a wobbler is if you ever hear that term, a wobbler, somebody's being charged with a wobbler. A wobbler is a crime that can be a felony or a misdemeanor. The three types of crimes are infraction, misdemeanor, and felony. Traditionally, infractions, you can only get fined. You can't go to jail for an infraction. Misdemeanors, you can get a fine or go to jail. And county jail is different than prison. Prison is for felonies. County jail is for non-felony convictions. You got to get state prison time. I mean, technically they can give you county jail time for a felony, but it depends on the state and different rules. But normally, if you're convicted of a felony, you go to state prison. If you're convicted of a misdemeanor, if you serve time, it's going to be in a county jail. And if you serve, you don't serve any time for an infraction. A wobbler can be charged as either a misdemeanor or a felony. Now, normally when cops arrest somebody and the charge is a wobbler, like assault on a cop, that may be a wobbler charge. I'm not sure. I think it is. But if you assault a peace officer, that's a wobbler. So a cop will arrest you for the felony. You'll have to bail on the felony. It'll show a felony arrest. But when you go to trial, the judge can make it a misdemeanor, and you can only get county jail time. You can get no jail time. He can fine you, and they can make the charge a misdemeanor. Also, if you were convicted of a charge that was a wobbler, you can petition the court to have it reduced to a misdemeanor to get the felony off your record. If you've been convicted of a felony and it's not a wobbler, you can't get that off your record. Although I say I can't, there's exceptions for everything. There's probably a way to do it. But anyway, that's a wobbler. Now we're going to talk about different impact weapons, because I talked about, and a couple people wanted a couple advanced techniques on the chucks. So I'll give you a couple little things if you were working on nunchucks, on swinging them around. This was an expandable baton. It was kind of a big deal at one point, to where it comes out, it's easier to carry. It was smaller on your belt. It didn't bang, and then if you needed it, you just slide it out and you do a quick flick. This has been used for a while, so it's kind of stiff, and I didn't flick it hard. If you flick it hard, it comes out, it makes that click, and you're ready to use it. And then it's just like a baton. Upward roll over, downward roll over, spear strike, one-handed strike, figure eight, upward figure eight, etc. Yawara strike. So there's all kind of, or Yawara strike, and then power chop. So these are the same things. This is just called an expandable baton. When it's this way, I can use it more as a club, more of a jabbing. I can still do the upward and downward roll over, but this is an expandable baton, another tool that cops can use. This is a spring kind of asp. It gives that whipping motion. I don't really care for it, but again, it's another impact weapon. Same thing. When it's closed, I can use it, rake, come down, jab, bottom fist strike. I can expand it and start whipping and do some flexing. It's going to hurt, it's steel, but a different type of weapon. Then you have the solid expandable baton. Same thing, short, upward roll over, downward, rake, power chop. I can expand it. Now I have a full length baton. Do a two-handed strike, a one-handed strike, figure eight, Yawara strike, power chop, spear strike. So those are the basic strikes for a straight baton. You can use them with the asp. This was an old sap. Some agencies still carry it. It's a metal flexible thing with a weight. It hurts. It has a little bit of flexibility. So when you swing it, it tends to hurt. Again, these things are designed skin where skin meets bone. Knuckles, fingers, hands, elbows. Not so much for the fatty areas. Doesn't hurt as much. People call this a sap, a lead weight, pocket sap. Another different type of sap. Same thing, steel metal ball here, flexible. Put your hand in here. I can use just about anything I can of the other one. I can hit you with it. I can tap you, I can tap again. I'm going for bones. Skin to bone. Ow, on the bone. On the meat, not so good. Skin to bone is the head. Remember, you can only use the head. Deadly force is authorized. So you can't use the head unless deadly force is authorized. And then they have a 36-inch baton, which is normally a Riot baton. Cops don't usually carry it, but if there's a riot, they'll get it out. This is more of a, this is longer than a 36-inch baton. I don't know how tall it is because I didn't measure it. But this is more of the staff for the martial arts. Again, same techniques with the baton. Upward rollover, downward rollover, spear strike, one-handed strike, two-handed strikes, figure eight downward, figure eight upward. Usually when I do a one-handed strike, it's more of a circle, so I'll distract high and come low. Jab, jab, your warrior strike, push, right down the center of the chest, power chop. Same thing you can use with it. Again, one guy wrote and said, I carry a cane, these are good techniques. These will work with a cane fine. Anything you got in your hand, if you practice with different techniques, you're going to use those techniques instinctively with a jab, or a power chop, or a warrior strike, or an upward rollover, because you've got the techniques in your mind, so they're going to come easier. And then this is a different type of nunchuck. This one has a rope. This one has a chain with a swivel. They work the same. Not that much difference. I like the rope a little bit better because it's quieter. This, if I get you in a cross and I tweak, that chain's going to bite into you, do a little bit more damage. So I showed some basic techniques with this. So if you're practicing with the nunchucks and you want to learn the chucks, kind of basic maneuvers is the one-handed catch either side. If you can do this on both sides and just practice, you'll get your hand-eye coordination. A little more advanced is from here to come to here. So when I come to here, now I can do this. I can give an upward strike with this. I can come back. I can roll it, go back to my two-handed rake, jab, go to here, use it for a little stick, go to here. But from here, I can get there like this a little bit quicker. So that's one movement that you can do. Another movement, of course, behind the back. If you sit here and do this, you're going to learn hand-eye coordination. Do it to the other side. And then just sit here and do these different maneuvers over and over again. And some people like to use the soft chucks. I think you learn better with hard chucks, because when you miss and you hit those fingers, it hurts. And it makes you more careful, and you learn how to keep that hand open until it hits. And that timing. And you learn how to keep that hand open to where I don't have to close it, but when I want to, I can. So those are a couple moves. A couple other moves is the twist. Remember on the PR24, I showed how to get to the Yor strike by twisting the baton. If I want to get in this hand, and this hand is tied up for some reason holding, and I want to get to another thing, I can do a roll, and now I'm here. And then I can do a figure eight, and this is a very powerful strike with a nunchuck. Coming up, swinging, a lot of force. And then to get back to there, I can come straight across the front, and now I'm back to there. So those are different maneuvers that you can work on. Obviously the pit catch, the armpit catch, you want to be able to catch it on both sides and stop it. So I can do either that strike, or from here, I can come straight back under, go to this one, over here, both sides, here. So, little different moves. Again, the chain doesn't matter, makes a little bit more noise. If you go with the chucks, it's a little bit longer than this rope. So when you get to different distance in chucks, you're going to have to adjust a little bit, but the more you work with them, whatever you carry, the easier it's going to be. This one has a little bit longer reach. I don't have to get quite as high to catch them because the chain's a little bit longer. Behind the back, I mean, whatever. There's a lot of different moves, but if you practice the basic and then the more you work with it, the more you're going to learn the more advanced moves. So that's kind of different little saps, different impact weapons. The key to remember with impact weapons is no matter what you have in your hand or if you don't have anything in your hand, the movements are the same. Even though I don't have anything in this hand, I can make it like a fist. The fist is kind of a weak punch. A bottom fist strike is much more powerful. So whether I have something in my hand or I don't, I can still get a lot of force with this bottom fist strike. And it's not going to hurt me near as much as if I punch that. So I still have this bottom fist strike. I also have the palm heel strike that I can come in. Both hard bones, so if I don't have anything in my hand, I've got this, I can do a power chop down to that collarbone with the bottom fist. Even though nothing is in my hand, I can pop that neck. I can do a jab to the throat, jaw, TMJ, side of the neck. So again, all things tie together. Everybody wants to kind of separate and learn different things, but the more you work with different things, the more you understand that an impact weapon is just basically something I'm hitting somebody with. I've got firewood here. If I'm working with firewood and I needed this as a weapon, basically I got a straight stick. I can do a jab. I can do a power chop. I can do a one-handed strike, figure eight, two-handed strike. Because I have some in my hand, I know that I can do an upward rollover, a downward rollover. I can do the same techniques with something in my hand. And without something in my hand, if I'm here, I could come in and hit you in the nose with my top of my fist, even though there's nothing in my hand. Upward rollover, downward rollover to the solar plexus, the gut area. Power chop. All these things work whether you have something in your hand or you don't. So when we would talk about other impact weapons besides what cops carry, we would look around the house and see things. The old phone receiver. You don't have a lot of people have phones now, but used to have a big phone with a nice round thing on each side. One for the ear, one for the mouth. Great impact weapon. You grab that, man, I can do a lot of damage with a phone receiver. Again, looking at things as when it's in my hand, I can use this and I can make effective strikes, and I know what target zones I'm going for. I'm not going for meaty, fatty areas. I'm going for skin close to bone, so it hurts, knees, ankles, things like that, jawline, etc., to make the most impact and the most effectiveness for my impacts. Alright, so that's a little bit more on impact weapons. Hopefully that clears up some of the questions. Cleared up the wobbler. And we'll do a couple cop stories here. And that one there.